This is Randy Higgins with Shift 7 Digital. I am our Chief Strategy Officer. I work closely with our partners at Salesforce across a lot of their products to bring great solutions to manufacturers. As Christine said, we're a digital agency, North American based, and we focus entirely on the manufacturing sector. So excited to be here. Just so everyone has awareness, we're a strong Salesforce partner. We work closely in the manufacturing space and have specialization in there, as well as across commerce and marketing. So as you can see, we work with a lot of different manufacturers across a number of sub-segments, including a lot of building products, industrial machinery, as well as some consumer goods manufacturers. And, you know, our client base runs the gamut across sort of SMB all the way up to large enterprise. Just a little bit about our Salesforce partnership. You know, we're hyper focused on helping manufacturers to digitize their go-to-market strategies. So our Salesforce partnership is foundational to that, and it really runs the gamut across marketing all the way through commerce and service. And really, as you'll see when we start to go through some of the case studies, Pardot can enable you to automate touch points across that entire customer journey. So go ahead, Amanda. So one of the things that we really want to recognize, especially in the SMB manufacturing space, is that a lot of companies don't have a heavy investment right now in customer marketing. And to be empathetic to that, we want to talk a little bit first about how to get started. And really what we think of and what we coach our clients on is really think about where you can drive growth in your business through deeper customer engagement. So understanding that there are manufacturers that have a very wide funnel and can hit a lot of different customers, all the way down to manufacturers that have a very constrained market and know all their customers, and really their goal is to sell more and increase loyalty with existing customers. So really thinking through from a marketing strategy standpoint, where you want to drive your focus is critically important up front. Go ahead. So one of the things that we often work with our clients on is helping to put together a monetary or a monetization strategy around those levers that I mentioned. And frankly, you know, we often see that one or two of these pillars tend to rise to the top and have the biggest opportunity. And really, as you get started from a marketing automation standpoint, this helps you to put some priorities around where you want to focus. We recognize that many of you don't have large marketing teams, and you need to identify the areas of highest impact and then really drill in and put your efforts behind those. So for example, the case that we have up here, this customer had a very large market and wasn't reaching a lot of their greenfield customer base. So there was a really large opportunity to just create awareness of their brand and drive traffic back to their website. So heavy focus in this case from a monetization standpoint on just acquiring new customers, as well as engaging existing customers in their digital properties to increase awareness of new products, et cetera. Often, though, we see in the manufacturing space that there's a heavy focus on other areas like selling additional product lines into existing customers through, you know, increasing share of wallet, or, as I said, creating tighter engagement with customers and better service models through increased loyalty. So I would encourage everyone to think about their go-to-market strategies and where there's the biggest opportunity, and then really put their focus from a marketing perspective against those opportunities.
So I think that's a good handoff point, Iris, for you to introduce yourself and talk through some of these use cases.
Yep, sounds great. So if we go to the next slide. So my name is Iris Kelly. I'm the VP and practice lead of our digital marketing group here at Shift7. So as Randy went through some of those growth pillars, we wanted to break this down into how marketing automation can take that and be an automated business driver for you. We often find that, customers need to turn their resources into more efficient resources, and that could be both from the people side and their tool side. So especially in a market where we need to do more, and sometimes with what we've got or less, marketing automation can really help us to do that. And not only just serve the marketers, but also help to increase the efficiencies with your sales and your customer service teams too, to provide that even better experience in real time to your customers. So with that, how do we take our website and make it our number one lead generation machine? And to do that, we've got to feed leads to it, and we've got to drive our customers to that. So if we start to break down those pillars that you just saw in the former one, taking the first pillar of acquiring new and existing customers. So 4 main things we think about here when we work with marketing automation and our customers. How can we use this to position ourselves as a thought leader? How can we, as we drive them more and more to the website, to engage them, nurture them, ultimately convert them? Now, the conversion point can be different based on who your business model is and who your customer is. So some of you have field salespeople who you need to drive leads to them from the site. Sometimes it's also, I need to transact on my site, or some mix of both. So we take all that into consideration as well. Also, trade shows and events, especially as a lot of trade shows are starting to come back in person versus online next year. How do we now take advantage of the technology like Pardot in front of us and start to get more people to our booth, capture information when they're there, and then nurture them afterwards? And finally, one piece that we'll talk about is onboarding. So off to the right, we wanted to take some examples in the wild, if you will, from our clients. So as you can see here from our client at PrintPack, they send out regular monthly communications. The content within it is largely things that help their customers do their job better, right? But then they start to see you as a partner and also a thought leader. And it's a nice touch every month to not always necessarily be selling them something, but be offering them something of other value, which more and more our empowered customers want to know about. On the right side as well, we see Jerdan here, which has an email that has links to downloadable gated content. So as you start to think about content and also not only gathering insights from folks that come to your pages that could be built on Pardot landing pages and also using Pardot forms, how can I start to gather those digital behaviors? How can I start to build my database through forms that lead to more premium content? Ultimately, we also have the great ability to lead score those and further enable sales to have warmer, more rich, valuable conversations on the back end. On the next slide, what you'll see, again, still thinking about acquisition and of those existing customers and new ones. From a trade show and event, another couple examples here could be that you need to drive more people to your booth and highlight things that you have going on, from new products. You might have some fun engagement drivers at your booth, demos, etc. Making sure that you have a very automated and more efficient way to nurture people before the event, remind them the day of, and then use all of that great information that you're capturing with them to nurture them after to get to the sale. And then also from on the right, onboarding. So onboarding is something that is often quite missed, honestly, with manufacturers, and it's one of the first things we actually work on. And with that, those onboarding moments are the first moments that they've signed up with you and said, I'm ready to do business with you. So how do you onboard them, but in a seamless way with all the right information to help make it do business easier with you? So really thinking about all those touch points from not only, again, marketing, but also how can we help sales to get the information out during those first moments, those first months with their customer, just to make it seamless, to make it valuable, rich, and purposeful. Moving to the second business driver, increasing existing share of wallet. So how do we start to broaden the portfolio of services and or products that a client might buy from us? How do we also take advantage of those abandonment moments? As naturally people will squirrel, they might leave something in the cart, and we want to make sure we get them back. So as you can see on the right over here, we have a couple of examples of that. So from product breadth, opening up their eyes with helpful suggestions of, you might like this product, but you also might like these other ones as well. There's very unique ways in Pardot that you can use your database to look at certain attributes of a customer and start to pull in that data to make a more personalized, rich email with suggestions that really open up their eyes and hopefully their wallets to purchasing more from you and doing more business with you. Abandonment, especially as our customer base is dealing with a largely more digital way of doing business with their customers, they're often finding that folks are coming to the site, but we need to find a way to get them back. Sometimes from an e-com perspective, this means having a very good workflow in place. If somebody has left something in the cart, we all probably buy from Amazon, and you probably get those things that say, hey, there's something in your cart. Well, Pardot allows you to do that in a very automated, seamless way and get people back to complete the purchase. Sometimes you might also have some folks that partially fill out a form. Well, we want to get them back to finish filling out the form, give us more of their data points so we can use them later to market and sell to them as well. Moving on to the third business driver, increase loyalty. So how do I use Pardot to do that? So with this particular customer on the left, Primpack, they wanted to really express new ways of how they were deciding to do business with their customers and really express that value prop of, here's how we think very prescriptively and pragmatically about how we go through the printing packaging process with you. Here's the experience that you're going to have once this happens. So we put together some of those particular communications, and it was very applicable not only to new folks, but also to existing customers. And this is where some of digital marketing and marketing automation can come in to help supplement the voice of sales. Sales is working hard and fast. They've got a lot of customers, or they're needing to focus on certain customers. And we want to provide that air cover to get those value props about our brand, about our products and our services out. And Pardot can certainly do that. We also might have sometimes in our experiences online, we have really neat tools that we want people to engage with more. Jaredan in particular has a wrecking calculator. So you can go into this virtual tool online and put in calculations that will help you determine what record might be right for you. So in order to help drive that traffic there and ultimately get people to engage, track their behavior, feed all those insight and leads over to sales, we use this type of communication to express what the tool is, what the benefit is, and then drive them again from a very digital and automated fashion over to the website. Finally, we have our fourth customer reactivation. Every business is a little different in what they describe as inactive. This particular customer has both an e-com side to it where they have certain consumables, which are great for marketing automation use cases, and they want to drive traffic there for people who are buying those consumables on a usual basis. They also have another side of their business where they're driving leads to sales for certain parts of a wholesale product portfolio. In this particular instance, they mark their inactive customers at 30 days of no purchase activity. So what we've done is to start to flag that flag in the database. It sends a signal over to marketing automation, and then that automatically triggers, we've missed you. Please come back. Here's some things also based on your profile or your previous purchase history that we think that we'd recommend to you. So now instead of the vanilla mass marketing blast out, this is a much more powerful and automated way to get people back and get them to engage with products that they're likely going to purchase and to take that inactive customer and again, make them active. So if we think about all of that on the next slide, when we think about content, right? Marketing automation and your other tools like analytics and SEO, they're kind of like the car. We got to put gas in the car. That gas is content. And when we're thinking about all of the potential touch points from both digital and human standpoint that we can interact with our client to woo them, wow them, keep them loyal to us along the whole buyer's journey, we like to break down what type of content is happening. Now, the three buckets we think of: transactional, this is sort of the doing business with you communications. I've purchased something from Fleet Pride. I would like a invoice or a receipt back, right? Hey, your password reset is here. So the things that we need to do very administratively and from a transactional purchase standpoint, those are touch points that we can automate and have a positive moment in the life cycle with the client. Promotional is, I want to sell you something. I've got a new product launch. Here's something you didn't know about my product, or an offer or a deal. And then finally, with editorial, this is going to be the thought leadership. There's the content, and you might think about blogs, articles, things that aren't necessarily selling your brand or yourself directly. These are things to help them do their job better and really show you as a partner along their entire journey as well. And we break that down into the different stages that you see at the top here from a journey perspective. Now, this is going to alter from what is meaningful for your audience and also what's meaningful for your business goals, and also what we can automate with something like Pardot. So with that, as you can see, there's many moments that we can really make sure our voice is there with the right message at the right time, and also at the right segment of audience as well. So with that, ultimately, what we're trying to do is service now what we're all dealing with, which is the empowered buyer. The recent pandemic has put all of us into a mode of let's be on the offense versus defense, but we also have to be present and be there in the digital scape, because our buyer, who was already really doing a lot of research before they even raised their hand to say, hey, I want to talk to your company about doing business with you, they've already spent a lot of time in the digital ecosystem, surfing your competitors online, looking you up, doing some comparison. So what they're coming to the table with now is a lot more knowledge than before. And we also are faced with, sometimes we can't always see them in person. We can't always do trade shows. We can't always do sales calls. So what we want to do is to empower ourselves to really work better with that empowered buyer. And we can use digital, we can use marketing automation to really deliver those personalized digital experiences that they crave and that they want. We can really connect the buyer journey across the different cross-functional teams within our own organization, such as customer service, operations, marketing, finance, and really piece it all together. And then also just really, again, be easy to do business with. What is the friction in service right now that if you had a way to automate it, get the communication out, let the buyer know that the order's on the way, let the buyer know that they can go and check on their submittals or their proofs online without having to waste valuable human resources with those admin tasks, and take that and service the customer better. These are the things that Pardot is really wonderful at helping us do.